Hello everybody and welcome to race number 22 of Season 5 NNSCRA Walmart Cup Series. We are only 4 races away from the chase for the championship after this race is concluded. So we are getting closer to that point of the season where it's going to be all about the battle for the championship. Hi, I'm Levi McIntyre, aka Thrash Maniac 99, the voice of NNSCRA Walmart Cup Series, here to welcome you to the Dodge Dealers 400 at Dover International Speedway. This is going to be a very good race for us today. We were originally going to go to Trace Rivera's, but I tested that track out and it wasn't very good to use, so I decided to cancel that and put in a second Dover race, considering the first time we went to this race, went to this track this season, it went pretty well. So I decided let's just go ahead and return to this before we conclude the regular season. But let's take a look and see how the top 10 in points look going into this race after what happened last week at Indianapolis. Sonny Hammond leads by 6 points over David Rivera. And third in points, 18 points out of the points lead is Matt McIntyre. And a tie for fourth, and are both 21 points out of the lead, is Jesse Setti, Danny Wells. Rest of the top 10, sixth, a total of 23 points out, is Chris Washer. Seventh, a total of 27 points out, is Charles Sanford. Eighth is Dorian Facepuncher, a total of 28 points out. Ninth, a total of 34 points out, is Jecko Knight. And 10th in points, a total of 38 points out, is Jessica Shelton. The rest of the top 20 is William Duncan, PJ Williams, Alex Hawkins, Chase Oliver, Seth Cole, Jackie Tang, Joshua Collard, Preston Plord, Ian Dutta, and Kendall Maynor. Now, the wild card drivers would be Seth Cole and Cole Daly for both having 2 wins this season and are outside the top 10 in points. Excuse me. But that is how the point standings look coming into this race. As you see your starting lineup on the top of your screen, let's get this pace lap going and take a look at the top 10 starting drivers. Michael Norman on the pole, second is Austin Weiner, third is Chris Thomas, fourth is Kendall Maynor, fifth is Charles Jackson, sixth Alex Hawkins, seventh Jessica Shelton, eighth Trent Dunham, ninth Matt McIntyre, 10th Joshua Collard. And that is how your starting lineup looks for this race. Correct that it's actually the 5-hour Energy 400 at Dover. My apologies. But anyways, here we go. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys and girls. Excuse me. Michael Norman actually getting a bit of a tough challenge for that lead as Austin Weiner trying to utilize the high line, but it's not really working. And actually, here comes Chris Thomas for the second position. And oh man, I already see 4 wide back there. Wait a loser. Although Brandon Nichols, something's wrong with his car as he is stuck in between the racetrack and the apron and holding up that bottom lane. I don't think a lot of drivers are going to be too happy with that 77 car. After all that's happening, wow, William Duncan, whoa, and there we go, we got wrecking, whoa, who is that upside down? That's Joshua Michaels upside down, and Kyle Matthews is involved, James Qualls. Big wreck. And the caution is out on lap 2, or going off of lap 2, entering lap 3. Oh, careful, guys. You don't want to wreck already. But Michael Norman is still the race leader, but let's go ahead and take a look at the replay to see what brought the caution out for the first time today here at Dover. Well, here's a look at it. It's all going to start with James McLeod getting the wall, coming down into both Joshua Michaels and Kyle Matthews. Matthews goes sliding, and then Qualls goes into Michaels, and they both go for hard hits, and Michaels goes flipping. And McLeod almost hit the wall again, but he somehow kept it together. But that is 3 cars involved in this crash. Now, I think the one that's going to end up getting retired for the most part is going to be Joshua Michaels. But with that said, let's go ahead and take you to the restart here at Dover. Well, after that first caution, it looks like potentially 2 cars could be out of the race, but most likely one, and that is Joshua Michaels. But where is James Qualls in the 55? Oh, there he is. He's just a lap down. So, yeah, Joshua Michaels is the only car out. Michael Norman is the leader. Second, Austin Weiner. Third is Chris Thomas. Fourth, Charles Jackson. And then fifth, excuse me, is Kendall Maynor. Sixth, Alex Hawkins. Seventh, Matt McIntyre. Eighth, Joshua Collard. Ninth, Trent Dunham. 10th, Joshua Balkin. And then the rest of the top 20, and that's all we're going to look at. 11th is Mitchell Riggs. 12th, Jekko Knight. 13th, Preston Lord. 14th, Dorian Facepuncher. 15th is Chris Washer. 16th, Jesse Setti. 17th, William Duncan. 18th, Cole Daly. 19th, Brandon Nichols. 20th, Brandon Gonzalez. So that is how the top 20 looks as we get ready to go racing again, as we are now going to be 53 laps left here in this race. And it doesn't look like James Qualls is completely 100% up to speed, although he might be. I'm not entirely sure, as he is actually holding up the low line. I think he is a little bit off the pace. That's going to help Austin Weiner get to stay in second, but the caution is back out. Jackie Tang's back here, and Sean Galligan's got no hood. Looks like it was just an accident involving Tang, it looks like. Let's go ahead and take a look at the replay of what brought the caution out for the second time today here at Dover. Looks like a near 3-wide attempt going to go wrong as Dylan Thoreau gets tight off the corner and is going to come up into Jackie Tang, and that's going to force Tang to go for a spin and hit the inside wall. While nobody else was collected in it, NASCAR or NNSCRA decided to bring the caution out anyways. Although I don't think they should have. I think they should just let them keep racing, considering Tang was able to keep going. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and take you back to the restart here at Dover. Well, no cars retired out of the race after that last caution, but Michael Norman is still the leader. Second is Austin Weiner. Third is Chris Thomas. Fourth, Charles Jackson. Fifth, Kendall Maynor. Sixth, Alex Hawkins. Seventh, Matt McIntyre. Eighth, Joshua Collard. Ninth, Trent Dunham. 10th, Joshua Balkin. And then 11th is going to be Mitchell Riggs. 12th, Jekko Knight. 13th, Dorian Facepuncher. 14th, Preston Plord. 15th, Chris Washer. 16th, Jesse Setti. 17th, Cole Daly. 18th, William Duncan. 19th, Brandon Nichols. 20th, Brandon Gonzalez. 21st is Stephen Pollard III. 22nd, Charles Sanford. 23rd, Danny Wells. 24th, Dylan Young. 25th is Daniel Day. 26th, Cody Lamas. 27th, PJ Williams. 28th, David Rivera. 29th is Rue McIntyre. 30th, Seth Cole. 31st is Kyle Matthews. 32nd, Anthony McCurry. 33rd, Sonny Hammond. 34th, Ian Dutta. Then it's Jessica Sheldon, Sean Galligan, Chase Oliver, James McLeod, Jackie Tang, Dylan Thoreau. And then the lap down machine in 41st of James Qualls. Green flag is back out. Michael Norman gets off to another great jump on that restart due to James Qualls being a little bit slower than everybody due to getting some damage in that first caution. And Austin Weiner is going to stay clear of Qualls, and Jackson gets the wall a little bit. But aside from that, he's going to keep it together. And the caution is out again. Oh, and there goes Dylan Young, and a hard hit from Jackie Tang into Dylan Young, and they both go for flips. PJ Williams has got a ton of damage, and he gets turned again, this time by Dylan Thoreau, and that's going to give him major damage to the front of his car. Seth Cole got a piece of it. Danny Wells, Sean Galligan actually about wrecked each other, but Danny Wells got damaged. Same with Kyle Matthews. So this is the biggest wreck we've had all race so far. Some damage sustained on a lot of cars, but let's go ahead and stay with this because pit stops are happening. So we're going to find out who's going to be the new leader or who could stay the leader, and that would be Michael Norman. But we'll see if he's going to get outbeat on pit road. But man, that is a tough break for Dylan Young. Really, pretty much ever since he won earlier this season, I think it was at California. Ever since then, he has just been on a downward spiral. In fact, he comes into this race 39th in points, to my understanding. But man, oh man, that is not what he was hoping for. And it looks like it's still going to be Michael Norman up at the front. So the top 5 is going to be Michael Norman, Austin Weiner, with James Quall still a lap down, Chris Thomas, Kendall Maynor, and Matt McIntyre. So that is how the top 5 will look. Let's go ahead and take you to the replay of what brought the caution out for the 3rd time already today here at Dover. Well, this wreck is mostly a case of somebody not clear when he's trying to get in front of somebody. Dylan Young thought he was clear of Danny Wells, but Dylan Young actually does get turned. And then, actually Dylan Young does get turned. And then P.J. Williams, Danny Wells. Oh, Seth Cole went up and rode the wall right there. We need to take a look at this, and then we'll look at the Tang portion. Let's see this. Yeah, Wells is going to come back up and get Seth Cole and P.J. Williams, Kyle Matthews. Yeah, and Seth Cole goes right up against the wall and into the catch fence. And some significant damage on those cars. And now we're going to see this hit from Jackie Tang into Dylan Young as he comes back up the track. Right in the driver's side. And that sends him up for a half a pirouette. And then Tang, actually, after the hit, is actually going to flip over once. Because he gets into the portion of the track between the banking and the racetrack and the apron. And that's going to cause him to go for a flip. But that was a look at the replay. Let's go ahead and take you to the restart once again here at Dover. Well, after that last caution, we have more cars that are out of the race, and they are Jackie Tang, Dylan Young, and P.J. Williams. Danny Wells still on track, but he's going to be on the tail end of the lead lap, it looks like. So he's still somehow on the lead lap. But Michael Norman is the leader. 2nd is Austin Weiner. 3rd, Chris Thomas. 4th, Kendall Maynor. 5th, Matt McIntyre. 6th, Joshua Collard. 7th, Charles Jackson. 8th, Joshua Balkin. 9th, Trent Dunham. 10th, Jecko Knight. 11th, Mitchell Riggs. 12th, Dorian Facepuncher. 13th, Cole Daly. 14th, Chris Washer. 15th, Jesse Setti. 16th, Brandon Nichols. 17th, William Duncan. 18th, Stephen Pollard III. 19th, Danny Wells. 20th is Alex Hawkins. Then the rest of the top 30. Charles Sanford, David Rivera, Brandon Gonzalez, Cody Lamas, Rue McIntyre, Sonny Hammond, Anthony McCrory, Dylan Thoreau, Jessica Sheldon, Chase Oliver. Then the rest of the lead lap cars, James McLeod, Preston Plord, Ian Dutta, Sean Galligan, Kyle Matthews, Seth Cole, and Danny Wells. And then the 1 lap down car of James Qualls. Green flag is out with, looks like 42 laps to go. Michael Norman trying to get his first win of the season, and the first one in quite a while. I believe it will be his first win since Season 3. He might have won in Season 4, but it's just not coming to me at this moment. But, yeah, Norman's still up at the front of this thing, and McLeod actually gets the wall a little bit. But he keeps together. Danny Wells going into pit road, and we're going to have our first battle for the lead. Austin Weiner going for a run underneath of Michael Norman. I always kind of figured if we had a green flag run, we could see a battle for the lead, and we're actually seeing that right now. Although Norman, it looks like the high line actually is going to prevail, and the caution is out again. Oh, and another wreck, and this time it involves Rue McIntyre and Preston Plord. No, hardly any damage on the 42, maybe a little damage on the 28, but aside from that, we looked like we got away with just a 2-car accident. But, oh, keep an eye out of this. Qualls is going to get turned by Mitchell Riggs. Oh, wow, what a save by Qualls. And almost collected a bunch of cars. Facepuncher about got bad damage, but just a little kiss on the side doesn't hurt. I have a feeling we're going to see a rivalry brewing between those two, and now these cars are going into pit road again. But some cars are going to stay out, and it looks like Joshua Collard's going to be the new leader. As he's staying out, let's go ahead and take a look at the replay for the 4th time of a caution here at Dover. Well, it looks like 3 wide coming off of turn 4 here. Contact with Anthony McCrory and Rue McIntyre, and that forces them up into Alex Hawkins. And they're both going to go for spins. Dylan Thoreau actually gets a piece of it. And yeah, I figured Preston Plord did get some damage out of that. Same with the 28. But that was with that. Now we skip up ahead here to James Qualls, who gets turned by Mitchell Riggs. Let's see what happens with this. He's actually trying to slow down. And he's trying to avoid balking, and Mitchell Riggs just runs right into the back of James Qualls, and he just couldn't control his car and turns Qualls around. So I guess you can't blame that on either person. It was just them trying to slow down and also trying to avoid that sideways 16 of balking, and Riggs just couldn't slow down quick enough. But that was a look at the caution as cars, as we saw, go into pit road. Some stayed out, including Joshua Collard. Let's go back to the restart here at Dover. Well, after that last caution, no cars retired out of the race. Some cars pitted, some stayed out. Some cars are lapped down still, like Walls, but now we got Alex Hawkins, Ian Dutta, Preston Plord a lap down, along with others that may be coming up here. But Joshua Collard is the leader. 2nd, Charles Jackson. 3rd, Chris Washer. 4th, Charles Sanford. 5th is Stephen Pollard III. 6th, Cody Lamas. 7th is Sonny Hammond. 8th is 2nd in points, David Rivera. And then the highest of the drivers who pitted, 9th is Austin Weiner. 10th, Matt McIntyre. Then it's Jessica Sheldon, Joshua Balkin. Trent Dunham actually has some damage. I'm not sure if there was a problem on pit road or not. But then it's Rue McIntyre, Chase Oliver, Kendall Maynor, James McLeod, Mitchell Riggs, Cole Daly, Jesse Setti, Chris Thomas. Rest of the lead lap cars, Michael Norman, or Jecko 9, Michael Norman, Brandon Gonzalez, William Duncan, Daniel Day, Brandon Nichols, Dorian Facepuncher, Anthony McCurry. Everybody else is a lap down. So this is going to be one crazy restart here. And here we go, as it's going to be 35 laps to go here at Dover. And it looks like, yeah, the top 8 decided to stay out. And some cars have actually went with 2 tires as opposed to 4 tires. Or maybe went with gas only. But Collard is going to hang in tough, and actually Alex Hawkins is going to get his lap back. Oh, careful! Oh, we got a big wreck! Kyle Matthews is upside down. And he gets into the outside wall. Oh, and another hit from David Rivera and Austin Weiner. Man, oh man. Huge crash, and Cody Lamas was involved. But Collard's still going to be the leader. McCrory was in it. Man, there were a ton of cars. Michael Norman, the dominant car of the race, actually got rear end damage out of this. Well, Collard! No! Collard, what were you doing? Joshua Collard actually got some damage, and they're still piling up back there. Qualls and Wells and Thoreau. Man, oh man. This is going to be one hectic replay to take a look at. Brandon Nichols with damage. Let's go ahead and take a look at it for the 5th time for a caution here at Dover. Well, a near 4 wide attempt gone wrong again. Stephen Pollard III bounces off the wall and into Cody Lamas, Kyle Matthews, and immediately the 24 goes airborne and goes for a flip. Lands on all 4 wheels, but then you got more cars. Oh, Matt McIntyre got a piece of it. Same with Jessica Sheldon, Chase Oliver. Oh man, this was just a massive pileup that happened after the wreck occurred. Once the wreck occurred, it looked like Trent Dunham might have been the cause of this pileup. Yeah, he's going to come up in the Rue McIntyre, and that's going to kickstart this pileup, also with Pollard being all wobbly around. And, whoa, McCrory got air from a hit from Brandon Nichols and went on top of Dorian Facepuncher. Some cars did a great job of missing it, like Daniel Day and Jesse Setti. Both of them went to the inside line, although they may have gotten a bit of a scrape from getting into the wall, but no significant damage from that. But That was a look at the caution. Let's go ahead to the restart once again at Dover. Well, after that last caution, many cars ended up retiring out of the race, and they are Austin Weiner, David Rivera, as they're trying to get the scoring updated for those. Austin Weiner, David Rivera, Cody Lamas, Matt McIntyre, Jecko Knight, Brandon Nichols, Kyle Matthews, and Danny Wells. But many cars still a lap down, but Joshua Collard's still the leader. Second is going to be Joshua Balkin, who's surrounded by so many. Third is going to be Rue McIntyre. Fourth, Chase Oliver. Fifth, Kendall Maynor. Sixth, James McLeod. Seventh, Mitchell Riggs. Eighth, Cole Daly. Ninth, Jesse Setti. 10th, Chris Thomas. 11th is William Duncan. 12th, Charles Jackson. 13th is Chris Washer. 14th is Sonny Hammond. 15th, Anthony McCurry. 16th is Alex Hawkins. 17th is Charles Sanford, who actually has damage. Unless that could be a glitch. Yeah, he actually does appear to have damage, and then everybody else is a lap down. But here we go, green flag is back out with 29 laps to go, so we are now past the halfway point of the race. But hopefully we can go caution-free from now on, but I highly doubt it, considering we still have a lot of cars out there that are racing really, really aggressively here in this race. And I got a feeling we might get a wreck coming off of 4 again. Oh, we about had one, and Charles Jackson actually ended up getting part of the wall. William Duncan, what are you doing? Sanford pulls into pit road. He's going to stick around, but Collard, and oh, and I see a wreck. A wreck in the middle of the corners. Oh, it's a huge wreck. Rue McIntyre goes flipping, and a lot of cars. Duncan, Oliver, Thomas, Shelton, Hawkins, Maynor, McLeod. So many cars involved in that one, too. But let's go ahead and, let's quickly take a look at that. This is the 6th caution. Let's take a look at it. Well, they were trying to run 4 wide off of turn 2, and Mitchell Riggs is going to turn, flat out turn James McLeod. And then look at this, right back up the racetrack and collecting several cars. Not what those guys were wanting whatsoever. And then Sheldon right there, a hit, and then a big hit from William Duncan into the driver's side door. Forces Rue McIntyre to go for 2 barrel rolls and end up on top of James McLeod. That is all on Mitchell Riggs there. He flat out turned James McLeod. I mean, and then again, there was no room to go 4 wide like that, but still, he could have just let off and backed out of throttle and just stayed behind the 51, but he didn't, so as a result, we have many cars going to be out of the race again. But let's go ahead and take you back to the restart at Dover. Well, we came to the lap a little bit late, but many cars retired out of the race after that accident. They are Anthony McCurry, Alex Hawkins, Rue McIntyre, Chase Oliver, James McLeod, William Duncan, Jessica Shelton. All those cars retired out of the race after that last caution, but pit stops were made during that last run. Joshua Balkin is the leader. Second is going to be Jesse Setti. Third is Chris Washer. Fourth, Charles Jackson. Fifth, Sonny Hammond. 6th is Cole Daly, and 7th is Joshua Collard. And then the last car on the lead lap is Ian Dutta, who's in front of the leader. But many cars are a lap down or 2 due to either damage sustained or from pit stops. But this is going to be a wacky restart here. And here we go. Are we going to be able to finish this race green? I doubt it, but we'll see what happens here. As Balkin still holding on to the lead, and Jesse Setti, who's second, is a little far back. Careful, guys. Oh, Hammond gets the wall, so does Daly, but we managed to get through that lap clean and green. As one car pulls out of the track, and that was Sanford. Sanford, I think he's probably going to head back to pit road. Some cars have gone by to get the laps back. A couple of them have, but Dutta still on the tail end of the lead lap, and whoa! The leader got into the wall, and it's... Wait a minute, what in the world? Charles Jackson! Wow. What in the world is Jackson doing? He could have went for the lead, but I guess he might have had just back out of the throttle to keep from wrecking the field right there. And here comes Chris Washer for the race lead down low underneath of Balkan. This is for the race lead, keep in mind. Oh, Sonny Hammond, Trent Dunham about wrecked. And we are still clean and green here. And Balkan's still the leader, but Washer's trying to get there, but there's so many lapped machines and damaged machines in front of them, they can't really race very much for the top spot right now. As it's now 19 laps to go here at Dover. Oh man, this is going to get ugly if they go 4 wide here. No, and they settle it, okay. And now Washer going underneath, and it looks like he might get the lead here. And we are still green flag racing here. This battle for the lead between Balkan and Washer. And Washer trying to break a long winless streak since Season 3. This is the last time he won back when he was in the 24 car. But he's back in Hendrick, but in the 5 this season. He's had his best season since Season 3. But he wants to get a victory. And he right now is running low, but now here comes Lap Machine Michael Norman, and whoa, we got a wreck. Sean Galligan, Jesse Setti involved, along with Face Puncher. And the caution comes out one more time. Good thing now it's timely for those cars who got around to get their laps back, and for Ian Dutta, so we're going to have 10 cars on the lead lap. But let's go ahead real quickly and take a look at the replay of the 7th caution of the race. Well, as you can see, it's going to start here when Sean Galligan bounces off the wall down in the Face Puncher and Setti, and that's going to force them to go into the inside wall. But unfortunately, I think Jessie Setti got the worst end of the deal, and she was running in the top 10 at the moment. But unfortunately, that's going to affect her chances of getting the victory here. But that was a look at what happened. Let's go ahead and take you back to the restart once again at Dover. Well, after that last caution, no cars retired out of the race, and only 10 cars on the lead lap. Chris Washer is the leader, 2nd Joshua Balkan, 3rd Charles Jackson, 4th Joshua Collard, 5th Sonny Hammond, 6th Cole Daly, 7th Jesse Setti, 8th Ian Dutta, 9th Stephen Pollard, 3rd, 10th Daniel Day. And the rest of the cars that are 1 lap down are Preston Plord, Dorian Face Puncher, Kendall Maynard, Trent Dunham, Dylan Thoreau, Mitchell Riggs, Chris Thomas, and then the next cars from 18th on back to 22nd are 2 laps down, and they are Michael Norman, Sean Galligan, Seth Cole, James Qualls, and Brandon Gonzalez. 5 laps down is Charles Sanford, and then everybody else retired out of the race from the cautions that we'll take a look at after the race is in its concluding point. And now when we're going back racing, it'll be 11 laps to go. Hopefully we can finish these last 11 laps green, but considering these cars are just having trouble today, they seem to be having more trouble here this time than when we had here at this track last time, because last time we didn't have as many wrecks and more green flag runs, but this time around, I guess because it's a little slicker, they're having a hard time trying to keep their cars straight. But back under green, and Chris Washer is the race leader, and he hopes to keep it that way so he can get his 8th career Walmart Cup Series win and the first since Season 3. And he's gotten clear of Michael Norman. Oh, and another big wreck! And I think that was Ian Dutta who just went upside down. And I think it was, and Daniel Day was in it. Trent Dunham involved. My goodness gracious. Caution comes out again. This is the 8th caution. This has got to be a record almost for any race in the Walmart Cup Series. Let's go ahead and take a look at that right now. The 8th caution of the race here at Dover. Another attempt to near 4 wide. Daniel Day gets into Trent Dunham, up into Ian Dutta, and Dutta goes for a whole flip. Somehow we only got away with just 3 cars. I thought there would have been a lot more, but still that's a tough break for Dutta and for Daniel Day. But let's go ahead and quickly go back to the restart at Dover. After that last caution, 2 cars retired out of the race, and they were Ian Dutta and Daniel Day. 8 cars left on the lead lap. Chris Washer is the leader, second is Joshua Balkin, third Charles Jackson, fourth Joshua Collard, fifth is Sonny Hammond, sixth Jesse Setti, seventh Cole Dalian, eighth in the last car on the lead lap is Stephen Pollard the third, ninth a lap down Preston Pollard, 10th a lap down Dorian Facepuncher. Then the rest of the cars a lap down are Kendall Maynard, Dylan Thoreau, Mitchell Riggs, Chris Thomas, Trent Dunham, and then everybody else from 16th on back to 20th are 2 laps down. Michael Norman, Sean Galligan, Seth Cole, Brandon Gonzalez, James Qualls, and then the 2 cars that are out, and then the 23rd and 6th laps down is Charles Sanford. He might be able to get past Dutta and Day to get up to 21st. 6 laps to go when we go green. I swear, I hope we finish under green flag conditions here. Chris Washer might have this race in the bag, considering he's got 2 lap machines of Norman and Pollard in between himself and Balkin. And I already saw a battle for third going on back here. Joshua Collard going underneath of Charles Jackson. This could be big for Collard, considering a lot of cars ahead of him in points wrecked out. He hopes he can maybe get up higher and maybe get close to the top 10 in the point standings. And it looks like we might be able to get racing, finishing off green. It's 5 laps to go, but I think if a caution comes out here in the next lap, I say in next lap, if a caution comes out, race will be over. Although we've got to stay close. Sonny Hammond about wrecked, and he saved it. Great job for him, as Sanford is going to go back in the pit road, and I don't know if he's going to be able to get by Dutta or Day to finish in 21st if he keeps going in the pit road. Coming back to the green, or to the line, it's going to be 3 to go here at Dover. As we keep looking, everybody's still okay, so it looks like we might be able to finish under green. Chris Washer's got a huge lead between himself and Joshua Balkin, over a 1 second margin for that top position. 2 laps to go. If a caution comes out now, the race will be finished. And this has been the longest green flag run we have had all day long, from the looks of it. Sanford still in the pit road. And now Chris Washer coming to take the white flag. White flag is out, and a battle for second. Collard and Balkin with Preston Pollard a lap down, who's 9th up on the high line. So this is the most interesting battle here in the finish, is between these two, Collard and Balkin. But it looks like it's all Chris Washer. Coming off of turn 4 for the final time in a crazy race, Chris Washer gets his first win since season 3, his 8th career Walmart Cup Series win, and he gets it at Dover. Great job of avoiding a lot of craziness all day long, and he's going to come and it's all going to pay off, and he gets his first win in quite a while. The Chris Washer we all remember from the first 3 seasons is back. Great job for the 5 car. As we go ahead and take a look at the official results, Chris Washer gets his 8th career Walmart Cup Series win and his first of the season, and first since season 3. So great job to come back to victory lane after a long winless streak is now broken. Congratulations to Chris Washer. Joshua Balkin gets his best finish of the season in 2nd. Great job for him. Joshua Collard gets a good run, a 3rd. That could help him out to get closer to the top 10 in points, considering a lot of cars ahead of him in points had problems. Charles Jackson, solid finish in 4th. And Jesse Setti comes away with 5th. That's going to help her out a little bit more as far as staying away from the 10th spot in order to make the chase. Stephen Pollard, the 3rd, great run of 5th, as he was the highest finishing rookie in the field. Great job for him. Points leader Sonny Hammond, it looks like he's going to keep the points lead as he finished in 7th. Cole Daly, great job at finishing 8th. Preston Blore, despite finishing a lap down, he comes away in 9th, and Kendall Maynor, who ran a lap down, came away with 10th. Rest of the top 20, Dorian Facepuncher, Dylan Thoreau, Trent Dunham, Mitchell Riggs, Chris Thomas, Michael Norman, Brandon Gonzalez, Sean Galligan, Seth Cole, and James Qualls. And then finishing 21st, 10 laps down, was Charles Sanford. And everybody else, and that was half the field. Half the field wrecked, half the field finished. And the second half of the field that retired were Ian Dutta, Daniel Day, Anthony McCrory, Alex Hawkins, Rue McIntyre, Chase Oliver, James McLeod, William Duncan, Jessica Shelton, Austin Weiner, David Rivera, Cody Lamas, Matt McIntyre, Jacko Knight, Brandon Nichols, Kyle Matthews, Danny Wells, Jackie Tang, Dylan Young, PJ Williams, and Joshua Michaels. And that does it for our coverage today here at Dover. Next race, we head to Watkins Glen, and now with this race over, we do have officially 4 races left until the chase begins. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Here are your results, rookie points, regular points heading into Watkins Glen, and this is Levi McIntyre signing off.